For your Southern California weather update, it is supposed to be hot again this weekend, unfortunately, but for today, I'm wearing long sleeves and I count that as progress. Hey guys, today I'm here with a short discussion video because I wanted to ask you about reading for the sake of reading versus reading for the sake of reviewing. When I started this booktube journey about 4 years ago now, I was just another reader looking for a community of readers where I could talk about books, because although I do have friends who read in real life, they're just not as fanatical about books as we tend to be here in the booktube community. Now, in the course of those 4 years, I've discovered that I really like sharing my opinions and thoughts on books I have read, whether that is in a wrap-up video at the end of the month, or a review video, or in a written review on my blog, which sometimes just happens to work better for that specific book. This whole question came to mind last week when I was at work listening to the Man Booker podcast. Side note, if you didn't know that The Prize has a podcast, I will leave some information about it in the description box because it is a great podcast and they're doing several episodes in the lead up to the announcement of the winner this month, including author interviews and interviews with judges. In this particular episode, they were interviewing some of the judges for this year's prize who revealed the process of selecting the winner, which includes reading all of the long-listed books cover to cover and then rereading the short-listed books, sometimes multiple times, in order to make the most accurate determination of who the winner should be. Then after finishing this episode, I switched over to the Vintage podcast, where I was listening to a rather old episode in which the interviewee kind of admitted that when he reads a book for review, he reads the beginning and the end, and unless he gets super sucked in, he generally skims everything in the middle. Now, I won't lie, I found this kind of horrifying, and I'm aware that there is a difference between judging a literary prize and just providing a book review, but reviewing can be an art in itself, and I mean, how do you provide an accurate critical review of a book if you haven't really read it? So I guess my question for you guys is, how do you handle books you're gonna review? I know for me personally, whenever I put any kind of review out, whether that's in a video or on my blog, I have read that book cover to cover. I've generally annotated all up in it, folded pages and all that jazz. I don't feel qualified to talk about books that I haven't completely read. Now, this doesn't really differ from how I read books for fun. If I am getting really into a book, I like to take my time with it. I like to annotate all over it, and it's not always the most practical or fast way to go about reading. So for example, this month I'm going to be reviewing Out by Natsuo Kirino for April Magazine, and my deadline for the drafted review is this Friday, October 7th. As of right now, which is Tuesday the 4th, I am only 72 pages into this 400-page book. So yes, it would be easier for me to just kind of skim through it and form some general opinion before I write my review, but quite frankly, I don't really know how to do that. I was that annoying kid in both high school and college who overly annotated all of my books, and I was kind of people's first stop when they didn't get the reading done. They just wanted to kind of flip through and see what I had highlighted so they could note it in their own copies. And that's kind of still how I read. Obviously, to each his own, and if you're one of those people who do skim read review copies, that's totally fine. I'm not judging you, but I would really love to hear how you guys handle this. I'm particularly interested to hear what you do if you are working with a publisher or an author. You've kind of promised them a review, but you're not really loving the book. Do you keep reading it really intently and really closely and then provide your review, or do you kind of skim through it and then provide your review, or does it depend on the individual book? And on that note, I should probably go keep reading so that I get this completed on time, but thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye!